Hello everyone, my name is Nuno. Today we're back with F1 2018 Grand Prix, the Belgian Grand Prix in season number 2. Taking a look at the weather, it's going to be clear all the way through qualifying and all the way through the race, which makes it more predictable and our car better, because you can see how much in front of Red Bull we are. We're so much ahead of them. It's absolutely insane. Practice programs as well, we've been a second at times ahead of Red Bull, which is the nearest challengers. Of course, not at Spa-Francorchamps, which is pretty much a power circuit, but they don't have the best power unit. We actually do have the best power unit, so we should be pretty over dominant, me and Fernando Alonso here in Belgium. But we'll see what lap times we're going to get. You can see we have a rivalry. We're about to end off two of our rivalries. One with Sebastian Vettel, one with Fernando Alonso. And actually, one who out-qualifies the one of me and Fernando Alonso is going to win. But let's go get into qualifying at the Belgian Grand Prix.
It's qualifying time at Spa, one of the mightiest tracks on the Formula One calendar. Long straights, up and downhill, Eau Rouge as well. This track isn't for the faint-hearted.
Alright, so as we're about to get into qualifying, we're going to go out for one attempt early and maybe one a little bit later if it's not good enough. But getting back to the rivalry against Fernando Alonso and I, whoever out-qualifies each other in this session determines whether Fernando's going to win or it's going to be a draw, because if we qualify higher than him, it is going to be a draw. So we of course hope to qualify higher than him. So it's kind of like a time trial battle for that rivalry, right, as we're coming over the line for the first lap, and it's going to be a 1 minute 42.3. So actually a little bit slower than in the qualifying pace program, and it wasn't too good of a lap, and we're going to go out one time later, and we actually left it way too late, so we have to do a drive out, and we have to treat this lap like a flying lap, but just not with the ERS. You can see there just 8 seconds. The time is ticking down so fastly up there, but we're just going to make it over the line with 4 seconds remaining. Fernando Alonso is right in front of us there. So, and we don't know if he's on a flying lap, so this is actually kind of like an epic time trial battle with him right in front of us. But at the moment, if he isn't on a flying lap, this is going to be pole position for us. You can see we're catching him rapidly, and here we have the slipstream down towards Blanchimont, and you can see here he pulls out to the side. So it's not a flying lap, so it is going to be pole for us, even though we set a better lap time here. So we have drawn the rivalry with Fernando Alonso. It's going to be the late front 141s for the pole lap time, and we're on pole. Here in Spa, we're 6 tenths in front of Fernando, who's like 5 tenths in front of the guy behind. And here are the rivalries. The screens we've been waiting for, we've drawn out with Fernando Alonso. So he did not win it, which is positive, of course, and we've won against Sebastian Vettel. So we'll have to choose a new rival. We're gonna do that in the next episode. So that was a kind of epic qualifying session right there, with me and Fernando Alonso just trying to battle it out for whoever was going to start on pole. But it is us on the front row log off for McLaren, which is of course very, very, very positive. But Fernando Alonso is probably going to be the one challenger in this race, so maybe we'll have a teammate battle. But we of course want to take home the victory, so we can pull out the championship lead even more. Taking a look at the strategy, we're going to want to go from the super soft tires, of course, the ones we qualified on. We have to start on those tires to the soft tires later in the race. We're going to go for kind of an undercut strategy, but the same strategy as probably a lot of people are going, as we're on the grid for 5 red lights for 11 laps around Spa, and the lights are out, we're underway. We get off to an okay getaway there, but Fernando Alonso is on our outside coming into La Sauce. We have the inside, but Fernando Alonso is on our outside. We're going to squeeze him just outside to the curb as we're coming down towards Eau Rouge there. Esteban Ocon, by the way, had a great starting grid from 3rd place. Sergio Perez right behind him in 4th, so almost like it wasn't real life. But Esteban Ocon there trying to go side by side with Fernando Alonso through Eau Rouge there, as Fernando Alonso inside on top of that little battle there through Eau Rouge. Absolutely insane corner to go side by side with, and we saw what happened last season when we did that, by the way. Check that one out. We had a huge crash through Eau Rouge together with Roman Grosjean there. So the first couple of corners has been pretty clean for me and Alonso. It's still a 1-2 for McLaren, but let's see if we can hold this throughout the race and throughout the laps that are going, and through the pit strategy, because of course we have so much more pace than every other car on the grid. So if we could pull out a little bit of a gap there and come out in some clean air, that would be absolutely great for us. So here we are on lap number 2. We get fastest lap of the race, which is of course expected. But the weather forecast said no rain, but it's kind of overcast conditions, so we never know what's going to happen. As Jeff comes up and asks us whether we want to go in on lap number 3 for soft tires, or whether we want to go in on lap number 3 for soft tires. So we choose to go in on lap number 3 for for the soft tires. As here we have going through Eau Rouge, you can see this is insane looking. I've been there in real life. You don't understand how big that hill is, and I haven't seen Formula 1 cars there, which I would love to, because it looks absolutely insane. So on lap number 3, we're gonna come in for the soft tires, as I said around 3 or 4 times right before, and we're not the only one who is gonna come in. The Force India, the Ferraris, Mercedes, Renaults, everyone's pretty much gonna come in for the soft tires. We're gonna rejoin just in between some traffic with a Williams and a Sauber there, which was to go side by side through Eau Rouge, which is not a good idea. But we just edge out of our. We have, of course, so much more engine power, but we just edge out. But they go side by side right behind us there. Which is pretty insane to do so. But a lap later, Fernando Alonso is going to come into the pits. Can he undercut us? We don't hope so. Is there any of the Force Indias who can? As we lock up there, one of the most important corners. We're going to come out. Are we going to come out side by side? No, we're going to come out in front of Fernando Alonso, which is a very, very positive thing, of course, here in lap number 5. But there's still 6 laps for him that he can catch up and overtake us. But one thing is catching up. Another thing is overtaking us. Magnussen is the only one yet to bid. Fernando Alonso down the long straight. He has the slipstream. He has the DRS. Maybe turns his ERS up. We're gonna pull to the inside. He tries to go around the outside through Lecom here. We have the inside, of course, but turns to the outside. Alonso's gonna keep his nose right in there, but we get out on top out of the Lecom chicane, which is very, 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 very awesome. But we just don't want to crash. As Fernando also wants to pull to the outside of the bus stop chicane, we have to leave each other enough space. We don't want to clash together. That would be such a controversial moment of the season if we both end out of the race. There would be so much to discuss right there. So we're giving each other more space than I think we would give to anyone else, because a 1-2 battling for position. This is almost kind of like the Mercedes era, when Mercedes were absolutely dominant and battling for the wins and all that stuff. But we're only on lap 6, so if this is going to be the last 4 or 5 laps, it's going to be some insane 4 or 5 laps that hopefully won't go wrong. There hopefully won't be any crashes or anything, as we're now coming down towards the insane Eau Rouge, where it's basically just about turning the wheel as little as possible to get a good run onto the very, very long and uphill Camel Straight. And Alonso gets a great run through Eau Rouge there. He pulls to the inside down the long straight. Yes, the slipstream, the ERS there, so he just cruises past us, and we've lost the position. So Fernando Alonso goes into the lead. It's still a 1-2 for McLaren, but of course we want that victory so we can pull out more in the championship lead, and to make sure we win that championship. We're only in lap round 12 or 13, I don't really remember. So there's still around 8 or 9 laps left, as we're coming down to the unpronounceable Fagné chicane. We go pull to the outside, which turns to inside. So Fernando Alonso there just edges out. Of course, he has the outside line, so it's positive for him that he can carry more speed on the corner exit. But we down towards Blanchimont, we have the slipstream. We turn our ERS up to overtake, but just back to medium, because we know we have the slipstream, so we can just save ERS for later. We're gonna pull to the outside of Blanchimont, but he just squeezes us very, very tight there to the grass. If we're going to pull off this overtake, it's going to be almost as insane as Max Verstappen's overtake. But Fernando Alonso still wanted to go side by side through the bus stop chicane. All of this battling is allowing Ocon right behind us to kind of catch up to us, put pressure on us, but he's too long behind. So even though we're battling, we have such a good car that we're still going to pull ahead of them pretty much. But he's still going side by side with us. This could end wrong. I've said it multiple times before, but this could end in a front wing, or maybe even a retirement as we're coming through Eau Rouge. It's just about turning the wheel as little as possible. We get a great run through there. Even before we have the DRS, we're up on the side of him, of course. Now we're just going ahead. But we pull to the inside there just to show that we don't want him overtaking us again. But he's just too far behind there, so he won't be able to dive bomb us anyway. But now here through Blanchimont again, Fernando Alonso's pulling to the outside on lap number 8 here. We're gonna leave him enough space. We're gonna leave him a lot of space, actually, half of the track, more than half of the track. So we pull to the inside line from, of course, what was the outside. So we pull to the inside to go defensive. He pulls to the outside back again, and we go side by side through the bus stop. We get off to a little bit better exit, a little bit better traction, but he's still gonna keep us side by side. Go away, Alonso. We want this victory. We want those 25 points. Okay. This is lucky that there's no team orders in this game, because that would just ruin it all. But I mean, it's dramatic. It's dramatic enough, and I enjoyed this battle. I really did enjoy this battle. But it's just like when you're coming to the end of the race, you're just like, yo, Alonso, please stay out of the way, stay out of the freaking way, because we want to win this race. Of course, we want to win every race. And that's the racing driver spirit. But now we kind of pull a little bit of a gap on him. Here we have Daniel Ricciardo, who's going very, very slowly, and I doubt that is a very, very good thing. He's had so many retirements. That engine is so bad. It's almost like the real life. But going back to our own battle, Fernando Alonso is going to go side by side with us through our rouge. We make contact. Up through Radion we go, but we end out on top of that one through a rouge. That could have been a flying crash, but through Puan. He wants to go side by side through Puan. What are you doing, Alonso? This is getting too dangerous. We're so close to each other, almost touching wheels. But he ends out on top as we're coming on to the second last lap. We go to the outside of Blanchimont. It's going to be so dramatic. We make a little bit of contact there, but we have the outside. So we're going to leave him in off space on the inside so he doesn't get on the curb and slide out. So into the lead, we just want to keep this hope for the last lap. Please, Alonso, we're going to go so defensive on the last lap. But you can see longer down the grid, it's Roman Grosjean holding up such a long train of pretty much everyone else in this field. I don't know if he had a front doing damage or anything. But as you run right there, he touches with the Mercedes, and out on the runoff area he goes. He just parks there and just goes on after that. So not really not really a big thing here. As well, the last lap of the race, Alonso pulls to the outside of the Fagnes chicane. We have the outside now. We touch wheels. So now Fernando Alonso's got it into the lead. Can he keep it home for the last half a lap? No, he can't. We have the slipstream through Blanchimont. He wants the outside line to pull to the inside. We make contact with Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso has gone out to the side there. Just pulls out to the side. What was that? He just backed completely out of that. He was just like bitching all about that, like, yo, I'm not gonna do this. You can see we have a replay from him. We didn't even touch him. He's just like, not again. I don't want this. He just didn't want any points this weekend, maybe. Well, we come home to claim another insane victory here at an insane Belgian Grand Prix. Just like last season, it was even more insane. We had 9 DNFs last season, but this time there was only 1 or 2 DNFs. So Fernando Alonso has been demoted to 4th place because of that almost last corner incident right there, which is absolutely sad for him. So we have a 4-point championship gap on Fernando Alonso right now. He moves down to 2nd place. We take off the championship lead. Again, which is very, very positive for us. In the Constructors' Championship, we're pretty much untouchable at the moment. We're almost leading with 100 points over the nearest challenger, which is Ferrari in the Constructors, which is surprising because they don't have the second best car. But you can see, for some reason, it shows the same screen. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.